Don and I, of course, our paths crossed a little over 30 years ago.
Me and a couple of friends of mine, I was around 20 years old, we went out and committed some crimes.
When I was 15 years old, my father was murdered one Sunday night in the winter while he and I were out shoveling snow in our driveway. It was my sophomore year in high school. Don, while I never saw him that night, he was the driver of the car.
I was sentenced to 90 years in prison.
About 20 years later, I think, when I had come to the point in my life when I'd come to truly believe in the issue of forgiveness and how important it would be for me to forgive the men who killed my father, I contacted all three of the men involved, one of whom was Don, and then he was the only one who responded to me.
I wanted to see him because I wanted to apologize. When he told me when he first came in, he shook my hand and he embraced me, and he told me that he had forgave me, that he had, as far as he was concerned, I was totally forgiven.
When I met Don in prison, he was he'd been in prison for about 17 years at that point in time. When he went to prison, he didn't even have a high school diploma. By the time I met him, he had a bachelor's degree in history from Ball State, and he started a process of visiting him in Pendleton Prison, and we became friends. And through a series of events, God orchestrated him being released from prison.
Tim was really responsible for me even getting out, but then he also was there when I got out, and he just kept on, helping me and giving me a shoulder, and I just took advantage of it and done the best. Every opportunity he gave me, I made the best out of it.
It's an attempt to work with folks who are victims of violence and work with them within a fairly short period of time after they become victims. Many times, as a victim of violence, a person who's a victim of violence was, I think about 90% of the time was actually involved in criminal activity when they became a victim of violence.
A lot of times, their life is really out of whack when they come in there. Some of them are on drugs, some of them don't have jobs, some of them are just looking for a direction. So we help them get GED training, we help them get jobs. When you're doing work that you see is changing people's lives and helping people get on their feet, it's more than just a paycheck. I feel like I've totally been reborn.
I think my dad would be very supportive. I think he would recognize that what Don's been through and how he is now helping other people means that his death wasn't necessarily totally in vain, and that God has been able to redeem and bring some good out of it, and I think that was his desire.